Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video. This time with the Neca Ultimate Lasershot Predator. This is a Kenner tribute figure, and I believe it is the last one that we're getting so far. I hope we do get more, even if they make up new concepts. Hope it'll be dope. But let's talk about Lasershot in the meantime. Anyway, first things first, let's take a look at how he looks and the articulation. One thing I do want to do is I want to adjust my camera because I was not set for him being so tall. Because I'm going to pick him up a little, talk about it, things like that. So this guy looks absolutely fantastic. It's one of those things where the wonky colors really work, and they've just made it a very nice updated version. Just seems really nice. One of the things I've never noticed before, and then I only noticed it when I got the figure in hand, is that there is a Terminator Skull right here that he wears on like a belt on him, and I thought that was pretty cool. So it gave me some ideas for shots and things like that. But this was really fun to see the armor, the futuristic, crazy '90s design. And then most of all, the wonky purple and gold that just really worked for him. He is a little back heavy and things like that. But I think it really still all works. Neca found a way to find balance in it. And although I have a few gripes, some people it may turn it off too. But I think overall it's a solid figure. So now let's jump into the articulation. Now, Neca does this really cool thing of putting the LEDs into the head. That because the heads are so large, you don't have to pretty much worry about it hindering the articulation. So when you push this button right here on top, the eye kind of just comes on. Let me check that focus. Voila. And he has it here in his right eye because all the cybernetics are there, things like that. So it's cool because it has a very nice light up feature. And at the push of a button, it goes right off as soon as I find that button again. And it's off. So it's very nice. And as you can see, it's all in the head. It's not something you technically have to go crazy about. But with that also being said, because of the head design, it kind of hinders in on his head movement where the shoulders are. So you can go left and right and you can turn it up, but it won't look like he's actually looking up whatsoever, even if I push this back, as you can see here. But he can look down, which is pretty cool as well, but he won't be looking up to anyone. So we have the arm articulation, which rotates up and rotates backwards and rotates a little further in. So you can have that arm sit flat. There is a bicep swivel, as you just saw. But the arm can't rotate too far up because the armor right here is going to stop that from happening. But the arm is double jointed. You get your Neca peg, which is like a Figma. It pegs in. And then we have that armor piece. We're going to talk about that in a second. Over here on the left-hand side, we have a shoulder that actually comes up. But mine is pretty tight. I'm going to have to heat that up again. I thought I would get to it soon enough. But as you can see, it can rotate here pretty well. It can rotate out, but it's going to have some small issues with that due to the plastic of the armor kind of rubbing up against each other. Arm over here is also double jointed as well. And I don't really have problems with it. So they have been getting better about joints not being gummy. You just got to be careful about it as you go across. Here, the peg in is a little slightly different because he has a different hand. So as you can see, there's a peg there, whereas this one uses the old school pegs like Figma. This one pegs the opposite way, kind of like an SHF with a long peg, right? Let's pop that back in. Then we have this nice torso articulation, which rotates around. It's a very nice movement. It gives a nice semblance of ab crunch when you want to hunch him forward like this. So just in case you want to get that nice predator stalking look, you can. Ooh, and that's what I was worried about with the head, not getting that range. So you can get that nice predator stalker look with him right here. The gun on the back kind of slides up and then over. But we'll get back into that. I know people saw that, so they want to ask questions about it. But that's just going to slide back down. The legs rotate all the way up here this way and rotate back this way. So if you want to do some sort of crazy martial arts with him, it shouldn't be too much of a crazy issue. You do, and I do highly recommend you heat it up first. Always heat these guys up. Because Neca wants to make sure these guys are strong standing-wise. But what happens is a lot of times some of those joints are going to get stuck. So I suggest you either add some shock oil, which they've already kind of pre-done for you, so you can actually get this moving, because a lot of mine have actually been stuck that way, where I just need a little bit of oil in the movement. So that thigh swivel actually allows for a little bit more range of movement, as you can see here. And with the leg going up and still being double jointed, you actually get a little bit of nice extra range. The cuffs don't move where the boots are, which is a little bit unfortunate, but again, it is still nice to have be able to rotate at the thigh instead of being stuck there. And you get a little bit of ankle pivot. I'm used to actually getting more of my Predators, so this is a little bit of a bummer. But again, this guy is heavily armored in certain places, so I can totally see why it would be hindered. Plus, he's being back heavy, so they kind of want to support that weight on the back, right? So now I want to talk about the backpack. Now the backpack slides all the way down this way, as you can see. But as I move his hair over, you see that it kind of rotate left and right. And then when you slide it all the way up and then over, it hunches right over the back really, really nicely. Let me actually turn this off before I kill that battery. So as you can see here, it looks really nice with it hunched over. And it comes with very nice accessories, which I'm actually going to talk about right now. Now, with Lasershot, you actually get this crazy grappling hook, which is wired, which is actually pretty dope. Like, it's one of those things where I thought it wasn't going to be wired. It was just going to be this piece that's kind of stuck there. It would have been even cooler if it shot out like a little old school toy gimmick, right? So the grappling hook actually plugs in by lining up the grooves. And you can actually get crazy with this and pose it up in a way that it actually holds its wing. I don't know if you guys are seeing this as clearly as I am, obviously. But as you can see here, rope-wise, it actually looks really cool that I've posed it like it was shooting out. And then you actually get 2 extensions here at the end. You get one for a grappling hook for grabbing your enemies. As you can see. Ooh, I want to make sure it's focused on that. Sorry. I want to make sure he doesn't fall. So let me actually pose him up a bit. There we go. So we get one for a grappling hook. And we get one spear-like one for impaling your enemies, which is all pretty cool. And you can both attach those at the end, as you can see right here. So no matter which one you want, let's say if I wanted to pick this up and I just wanted to look like this, I want to make sure he looks cool doing it. Right? Let me make sure he looks cool. Oh, my knee is actually giving way. Oh, but I can fix that with some limit pledge. So yeah, as you can see, I focused here on the grappling hook. You can see it. It holds his weight up. My left knee is giving out, but that's probably because I've been playing with it for so long. I've actually played with it a lot before I've actually tended to review it, so that's my own fault. But it's cool to see this kind of gimmick come back to life here. This one doesn't do much, and that's fine. But the fact that they kept one of the gimmicks like this is actually really cool, and I thought that was dope of them. I really want to see some more stuff like that. I would not mind seeing more of this, and the 30 bucks that I've paid for this, it's totally worth it. Now, we're going to talk about his other things that he comes with, which is really cool. And I think the only thing that's bummer-wise is that you lose out on a bit of articulation with him. But it's one other thing you lose out on, and I'm kind of bummed about. So that it's not this, but we'll get into that. So this is actually removable because it's a shield. So it's a part swap, so you can use his plasma shield. This is actually really cool if you want to defend yourself doing cool Terminator stuff or against crazy Terminator moves. And then we also have an alternate hand, which is closed. So if you want to punch Terminators in the face or other aliens or predators, you have that. And then this is probably one of the cooler things. He has an articulated claw hand, which I call his strong hand, which I talked about earlier, has a different peg. And this different peg plugs in very easily. I do not have a fear of it breaking, which is actually a very nice relief. And it looks really cool on him. This is what I call strong hand. It has articulated individual fingers. So you can actually get a lot of good posing out of that. The thumb moves up and down, but I have to heat mine up again. So just be careful with that. But as you can see here, you can actually do a lot of cool stuff with it. So let's say you wanted to do some swap. Oh, I forgot to tell you, this actually rotates as well. So I apologize for not adding that in before. So let's say you want to do a nice claw down maneuver where you're coming down on your enemy. You extend this arm up. And then you do it like this. Now, that's probably my biggest gripe so far, is the head not being able to have the maneuverability to do that. But he has mostly the articulation here that would allow you to do that. Even if I didn't extend this knee, but let's say I do extend that knee, a little bit of a, I guess, an articulation lesson. So let's say he's extending for an attack. As you can see here, with the arm fully extended and rotating, you can see that he's trying to like swipe down or swipe across for his enemy, right? Really nice stuff. Let's get you standing straight back up. Let's leave your strong hand on. And last but not least, along with the neck articulation and the head articulation, I think the only things that really upset me is that my mask does not fit on properly. It always falls off. So, you know, it looks okay here, but as you can see here, it just falls off. And I think those are my only true gripes, is the neck articulation and the mask. Otherwise, I really, really have been enjoying this figure so much that I've took a ton of photos, and I don't think they'll all fit at the end of the review. But with his mask on, if you're not going to touch it, I think this absolutely does look great. It's like kind of like a beehive mask, right? It looks really good. Now, last but not least, we are going to jump into the size comparisons. So let me get him nice and standing tall so you guys can see what it looks like next to other NECA stuff and other lines in general, right? So you and your strong hand, chill right there. Let's get you standing straight up. Voila. And I think first things first, we're going to do other NECA stuff so you guys can see what it looks like next to stuff. So I chose Golden Age Predator because I really like these guys' wonky colors. And I figured they'd look cool next to each other, right? So there's Golden Age Predator. The Golden Angel Predator. I don't know why I did that. Here he is next to Two-Pack Predator from SDCC. And as you can see, Golden Angel is a little bit taller, and I think that's just because of the helmet. But overall, I think they tend to be around the same size. Maybe slightly different, maybe an inch or two smaller. So that's those guys. Move this guy over. Here he is next to a Xenomorph Warrior from Alien, I believe, Resurrection. I could be wrong. I can't remember at this moment. But I know it's the newer one with the packaging. So, ooh. Sorry, guys. So here's this guy. And I stand these guys straight up because I know when you hunch them over, you kind of don't get the same sense of it, right? Like this one, right? Let's say if we were using a Kenner Alien and see how he's hunched over, you don't get that same semblance. So now let's stand him up with a Kenner Alien so you can see what's happening. And as you can see here, even if he's not standing straight up, these aliens for the most part have a very good size on them, right? Oop, he fell again. I could not save him this time because I had things in my hand. Now let's pop this hand back on, stand him straight up again. Now we're going to compare him to Broken Tusk and the Kenner Terminator. Actually, it's NECA's Terminator from the Kenner stuff. And here's Broken Tusk. I want to compare him to as many Predators as possible so you can kind of get a different look at him each time. Right? Nice and cool. See these guys? The Terminators look small next to these guys, but the Terminators are a very comparable force in terms of opposition. Now we're going to compare it to some other different stuff. See how you guys like how they stack up. Here's a Lightning Collection Gold Ranger. Here's a Mythic Legions Veritas. And the Mythic Legion stuff, I think no matter what, it just always looks cool next to Predators. So I always pop those guys in when I can. Here we are with a Marvel Legends Black Knight and a SHF Kamen Rider Cougar. Right? Tiny guys compared to him. Next up, we have an Articulated Icons Itami, which I call Mr. Karate because that's kind of what he's looking like here. Here he is next to a Mezco custom cloth Punisher with some CJ clothing, right? And then let's say you had War Machine, but I couldn't take out War Machine in time. Here he is next to an Iron Man from SHF. Let me stand him straight up with a Man Nipple Studio Tony Stark head. So as you can see here, SHF stuff, at least Iron Man wise, not so bad. And last but not least, since he likes killing Terminators for Lasershot, here is a 1000 Toys Synthetic Human, the 1/12 scale one. All in all, I think this is a great piece. I really liked it. I have been enjoying it. I've actually been enjoying the NECA Predator stuff a lot. But if this isn't for you, it's an easy pass. But if it's something you think that the wonky colors and the cool gimmicks is for you, I think you should give it a shot at 30 bucks and see what can go wrong. In the meantime, guys, hope you enjoy. Hope you found it informative. Most of all, hope you do good, be good, drink your water. Later.